My name is Michael Hirst. I'm at Highland Hill Farm. And we're going to do an exercise today on pruning a green giant arborvitae. This is a green giant arborvitae. This arborvitae was pruned once before a year ago. We usually prune our trees over the winter because that's when we have time. Prune periods for arborvitae is any time that you are thinking of it. There is no prune period. Just you see it, you want to prune it, go for it. When I prune trees, well, let's do the sizing first. This tree here, this would be considered either an extremely strong 5 to 6 or a weak 6 to 7. After we prune it, we won't dig it unless we run out of trees and we have nothing else. We usually don't like to dig trees that we just pruned, but we will do it. Fantastic examples of that are like pine trees and spruce trees. You gotta prune them. That's just the way that they are. So this is green giant. Very, very strong 5-6, very weak 6-7. If you receive this as a 6-7, I probably wouldn't complain because that's what it would be. And if you got it as a 5 to 6, you should be jumping out of your seat for it. So this is my tool I use. It's a little bit old. I had newer ones, but my guys lost them, so I'm using this right now. So we're going to use this bad boy here to prune this arborvitae. And what I usually try to do is I like to have them with 1 liter to it. And this one is not a good example because this has 1 liter. But if there was 2 liters, you would prune the 2nd liter out. I like to prune about 1.5 to 2 feet off the 2nd liter to subordinate the lead, not to remove the lead. I don't know if I think removing the lead is overboard on it, but I like to subordinate the lead. But since we don't have a 2nd liter, it's only a 1 liter tree, we're going to go in and we're just going to lightly prune off the top of the tree, making it a conical shape going upwards. I like to try to leave 1. Sometimes I like to leave 2 or 3 because we have a lot of birds and the birds like to land on top of the tree and break these off. But you do need to leave one of these fronds on in order for it to continue to grow. That's how I like to try to shoot it. I like to have a spare and an air. That's how I think of it. So then after we get our initial cone on the top, then I just work my way down, making the tree wider as you're going down. Everybody has different rules on the width of the tree, and there is no standardized rules. I've seen green giants as thin as a 6 foot tall green giant that's about 1.5 feet wide. That's acceptable. That's how that person did it. I've seen green giants that are 6 foot tall and they're 4 foot wide. Both ways are acceptable. There is conventions, but they're not enforced, and every person does it their own way. But I like to try to go at an angle kind of like that, a little bit steeper than a spruce tree, and I like to prune the sides of the tree as well. So for arborvitae, this green giant is different than like the American or Niagara or any of the other types, is that they are very apically dominant. They're known for wanting to grow with 1 liter. If you have a tree that has multiple liters to it that want to grow, like an American arborvitae, you have to constantly prune it to get the 1 liter. And if you get ones that have multiple liters to it, you don't fret and frown upon it. That's just how that tree grows. It's like the difference between like a maple tree and an oak tree. They're just going to grow differently. It's just how it is. But this is a very center, 1 trunk oriented tree, so it's really easy to go do. So we just continue to go around and prune the bottom. When I'm doing the younger ones over that way, the little bit younger ones we have, I usually don't prune the bottom. That's because when a tree grows, most of the energy is at the top of the tree and not much on the bottom. But the reason I trim these on the bottom is because I want the bottom to be real heavy, thick, and full. And you notice how this is a little bit sparse through here? As we prune it, every time we prune it, we thicken it. It makes it thicker and thicker and thicker. That's why we go around on the bottom of it, we prune it in a little bit. And that's why our trees are not as wide as like the super widest ones, because the super wide ones, they sometimes are not as thick and as full, but they're wide. So it's a trade-off on it, and it's how everyone grows it. That's why there's not a concrete way stamped in writing on how to do it, but there's a general convention. So everybody has a different eye on what they think the tree is supposed to look like. And when I prune mine, I try to get mine so that it has a shape to it, and that they're uniform, and that they are fairly dense of a tree. It's not like a skimpy little tree you put there and you can still see through it. I do like to have them, when I plant them, you can see the ones that are over there, I like to plant them in the field about 5-6 foot apart from one another. And I like doing that because they will grow in, and I like to try to sell them and when they're like 10, 12, 14 foot tall, and you need that
big spacing for it. But if you're not going to redig it, you're not like me and you want to put it in your landscape, that block out your neighbor, the very closest you should put them is about 5 foot, and just let them grow into one another. Let them grow and become a community together. And that's how you want to encourage them to be. You don't have to have perfect specimen looking trees in a line. You want a solid wall, and just trim so that they grow in one another. If you have any other questions or something I didn't elaborate well enough on, you can give me a call. My cell phone number is 267-446-2376. Thank you.